Tensed relations between Algeria and Spain. On Monday, Spain's economy minister Nadia Calvino blamed Algeria's decision to break a decades-old friendship treaty with her European nation on the North African country's increasing alignment with Russia. The Spanish economy minister noted that the decision was not surprising. Algeria suspended the two-decade-old friendship treaty with Spain last Wednesday, but backtracked on Saturday, reportedly after the EU warned it was prepared to take action to defend the interest of its members. The North African state's recent moves is seen as retaliation after Madrid came out in support of Morocco's attempts to keep Western Sahara under its rule. Algeria supports the territory's independence movement. On Saturday, Algeria's foreign ministry called the European response hasty and unfounded. In a strongly worded communiqué, it added that the issue was a political disagreement that should not concern the EU. Spain was the colonial power in Western Sahara until it was annexed by Morocco in 1975. Since then, neighbors Algeria and Morocco have been at odds over the fate of the region.
Tribal clashes over the past week in Sudan's war-ravaged Darfur have killed around 100 people. The UN Refugee Agency and tribal elders confirmed Monday in the latest surge in violence in the restive region. According to UNHCR, fighting grew out of a land dispute between Arab and African tribes in the town of Kolbos in the West Darfur province. Local Arab militias then attacked multiple villages in the area, forcing thousands of people to flee. Abkar Al-Toum, who is a tribal leader in the town, said the dead included at least 62 bodies found burned after militia set more than 20 villages on fire. He further confirmed that many people were still unaccounted for. Other sources also claim the attackers gained control of water resources, aggravating the humanitarian situation in the area. The fighting was the latest bout of tribal violence in Darfur, and it came as the country remains mired in a wilder crisis following an October military coup. The talk over upended Sudan's transition to democracy after a popular uprising forced the removal of long-term leader Omar al-Bashir in April 2019.
It is 6:30 a.m. here in Douala, Cameroon. Children arrive with their parents to take part in the activities of the day. This is the Potager Club, a project initiated 2 years ago by Eric Kunchu with the objective of reconnecting young children from the big cities with nature, agriculture and breeding. We noticed that children in the big cities of Douala and Yaoundé in particular have very little contact with nature. So we asked ourselves what we could do to solve this problem. So we created the Potager Club. When COVID came, parents did not send their children anymore. So for almost 2 years, we stopped, and this year we started again with the project. Mathis has become accustomed to this club and now dreams of doing agriculture. We've come to remove the weeds and put natural fertilizer on our plants so that they can grow faster. We've been taught how to raise and plant the plants properly. For the parents who come here with their children, it was necessary to do something other than academic activity. We need to give them a culture other than that of the ordinary school. We must add to their schoolwork apprenticeship so that they know that they can grow crops and be trained in aquaculture and in agriculture. And tomorrow, with the means, they can have projects in this sense. For some, this is an opportunity to do some real family activity better than the walks and outings they take. This is an opportunity to have another family activity different from what we've been used to. And that's because we live in apartments and vegetation is not very present in our daily lives. But now the children really appreciate this. The club resumed activities in March after a year's hiatus brought about by the COVID pandemic. Eric Kuchu has said his long-term goal is to allow children understand the importance of agriculture, climate and nature in general. Air quality in South Africa has come under the spotlight once again, and the city of Johannesburg has called for an investigation into the heavy sulfur-like smell that filled the air this week. Last year, the stench was believed to be the result of elevated levels of sulfur
We are receiving
dioxide.
quite a few complaints from even our residents about having smells in the air, almost like a rotten egg sulfur smell. And this is indicative also of air pollution being quite high in the area. Even if they're saying that it's not dangerous, it's not toxic, the chemicals generally in air pollution, most of the pollutants will cause some sort of health effects.
According to recent studies, the high air pollution levels in Johannesburg has reduced life expectancy by 2 to 3 years. Children in particular are at greater risk.
Pollution irritates your inflammatory response in your tissues. It contributes to a lot of disease, cardiopulmonary disease, ischemic heart disease and strokes, for example, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, asthma, lower respiratory tract infections, and lung cancer. We're seeing an increase in asthma in children at the moment. We're also seeing an exacerbation in adolescents and the adults that would have been okay for a few years. So we see worsening symptoms in that population.
There are over 5 million cars on the roads in Johannesburg alone, each one of them emitting several dangerous gases into the air.
A lot of the studies we do look at, we actually take into account the local burden of disease and the impact. It has an economic impact. It also has a social impact. Not only does it impact your health, but it then puts or places pressure on the health systems, which are already quite strained in our country. So we definitely need a more vigorous response.
The South Africa Air Quality Index currently shows a PM 2.5 level for the country. This is 1.4 times above the levels recommended by the World Health Organization.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Today, theatre in South Africa is still struggling with audiences still limited to 50% occupancy under COVID regulations. But after the pandemic inflicted so much illness and death on the world, theatre legend John Kani's eyes is attempting to bring back things to life.
I'm Sister Kunene and I'm black.
Hang on, darling.
Please don't call me that.
Sorry. Sister.
While I was writing, I remembered that in 1959, when I was still in high school, our teacher walked in so excited one day. He says, "We've got a new set word, new textbook, Julius Caesar." We're all very excited, but in isiXhosa, translated in isiXhosa. So I then started the play and got an A in it. And later, I kind of read the real Julius Caesar in English, and I felt that Shakespeare failed to match Mdlele's brilliance and pathos and tragedy.
The play erodes tax Lunga Kunene, an older black male nurse with caring for an older white actor dying of liver cancer but desperate to survive long enough to accept the role of Shakespeare's King Lear.
My brother, my younger brother, was the Reverend Kani of the Anglican Church. He says to me, "What were you doing in England?" I said, "We're doing a play which I've written called Kunene and the King, of this man dying of liver cancer, stage 4. He looked at me and I saw a tear in his side of this. I said, "What's going on?" He says, "I have just been diagnosed with liver cancer, stage 4, and I haven't got long to live." And I said, no, you do remember I told you the play I'm writing has got nothing to do with you, you know.
For all the sadness, the play is also very funny, and perhaps a revelation for younger fans who may know Kani best for playing the Black Panther's father in the Marvel films.